The stars were quiet that night. In the cold emptiness of space, the alien fleet drifted like a dark cloud over the human colony planet Solaris 7. Their ships were enormous, sharp-edged, and bristling with weapons. To the alien commanders, this was a simple mission: eliminate a weak species and take control of a planet that offered nothing more than a small population and a few mineral resources. Commander Thaurik, the leader of the alien armada, leaned over the holographic table in his flagship, scanning the projected image of the planet below. His multiple eyes glowed faintly as he spoke to his lieutenants. "Human technology is primitive," he said, his voice cold and precise. "They will offer little resistance. Prepare the landing squads. We strike at dawn. No surprises, no delays. Victory is assured." The lieutenants nodded in perfect unison. To them, humans were predictable, weak, and unworthy of attention. They had destroyed planets like this before, civilizations that believed themselves safe. Nothing had ever stopped them. Yet, far below, on Solaris 7, the humans were awake. They had no massive fleet, no gigantic warships, and no overwhelming power. But they had something the aliens did not understand: courage, cleverness, and a stubborn refusal to bow. In the human command center, Captain Mara Lin stared at the blinking console in front of her. Her hands hovered over the controls, steady despite the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. "They're coming," said Lieutenant Rin, her voice low but urgent. "Scanners show hundreds of alien ships in orbit. They'll land in less than 6 hours. Mara's jaw tightened. She knew the aliens underestimated them. They always did. Humans had survived worse odds before, and they would survive this too. "We'll make them regret that mistake," she said softly, almost to herself. Then, louder, she ordered, "Alert all defensive units. Get every scout ship ready. I want eyes everywhere." Outside the human command center, the skies over Solaris 7 were calm. The wind rustled through the forests and across the plains. Birds flew nervously from their nests, sensing the tension in the air, though they did not know what danger was coming. In space, a lone human scout ship emerged from a hidden hangar in orbit. It was small, sleek, and fast, no match for the alien warships in size or firepower. But Mara trusted her pilots. They were the best humans had, trained for years in tactics that relied on speed, cunning, and precision. Lieutenant Rin guided the scout toward the alien fleet. "Keep your sensors on," she warned. "Any mistake could get you vaporized." The scout ship darted through the shadows of the alien fleet, scanning, recording, analyzing. The alien sensors immediately picked it up. "Target identified," Thaurik hissed. "Destroy it." Massive cannons fired, sending streaks of energy slicing across the dark void. The human scout ship shuddered as blasts grazed its hull. But instead of panicking, the pilot executed a daring maneuver, diving into the blind spots of the alien fleet, weaving through their formations like a ghost. The aliens were stunned. Ships twisted and fired again, but the scout moved too fast. It appeared in places where no one thought it could be. Small, clever, fearless. Thaurik's eyes widened. "Impossible," he whispered. "This species, it is unpredictable." In the human command center, Captain Mara watched the display. A small smile touched her lips. "They're learning already," she said. "Let them think they understand us. That's their first mistake." The night on Solaris 7 stretched long and quiet. Farmers slept unaware. Children dreamed peacefully, and the wind continued to whisper through the trees. Below this calm, humans prepared. Every bunker, every hilltop, every hidden tunnel was checked. Every soldier knew their mission: slow the alien advance until reinforcements could arrive, buy time for the planet, and, if necessary, fight to the last man. High above, the alien fleet continued its preparations, confident that nothing could stop them. Thaurik's lieutenants spoke in calculated tones about weapon strengths, fleet formations, and the efficient destruction of Solaris 7. They had destroyed countless worlds before. This planet would be no different. But even in their certainty, a tiny seed of doubt had begun to grow. The movement of the human scout, their clever maneuvers, their ability to avoid detection. It was small, but it was something the aliens had never encountered, something they could not predict. The first streaks of dawn began to touch the horizon of Solaris 7. The sky shifted from deep black to the soft pinks and blues of early morning. In space, the alien fleet shimmered, ready to strike. And yet, on the surface, the humans were ready to. Captain Mara Lin took a deep breath. She knew the aliens thought victory was theirs. They thought the humans were weak, predictable, and doomed. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The calm before the storm was over. The game had begun. The morning light had barely touched the forests of Solaris 7 when the alien ships began their descent. Massive shadows stretched across the plains as landing pods broke away from the main fleet, carrying squads of elite alien warriors. The air seemed to tremble as engines roared, and the ground shook with each landing. Captain Mara Lin stood on a ridge overlooking the first landing zone. Her eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the sheer number of enemies pouring from the sky. Hundreds of aliens, armed to the teeth, moved in perfect formation, their movements disciplined and cold. Their confidence was overwhelming. To anyone watching from a distance, the humans would have seemed hopeless. But Mara did not flinch. "Hold positions," she shouted to her small team of human defenders. "Let them come. Stick to the plan." The humans were outnumbered, yes, but they were clever. Every hill, every valley, and every forest clearing had been prepared as part of a trap. Mines were hidden beneath the soil, camouflaged turrets were waiting to fire, and the humans themselves had been trained to move silently, strike fast, and vanish before the aliens could react. The first alien squads touched down, confident that victory was theirs. Their boots crushed the soft soil, and their weapons hummed with deadly energy. They spread out, scanning the area for any sign of resistance. Targets acquired, one alien lieutenant said, pointing toward a small cluster of human bunkers. Eliminate them quickly. What the aliens did not know was that the humans had anticipated every move. A small detachment of soldiers waited behind rocks and inside camouflaged bunkers. They watched as the aliens moved closer, their confidence turning into curiosity as nothing happened immediately. Then the humans struck. A sudden explosion erupted beneath the alien formation, throwing soldiers into the air. Energy blasts from hidden turrets followed, cutting through the ranks of the intruders. Panic flashed across alien faces for the first time. They had never faced an enemy who could strike from places they could not see. Mara moved along the ridge, guiding her troops. Now push forward, keep them confused. The humans attacked with precision. Small squads hit the aliens from the sides, while others fell back, drawing them into traps. Mines exploded in calculated sequences, and energy blasts tore through alien armor. For every step the aliens took, the humans had already anticipated their reaction. Commander Thalric, observing from his flagship above, could not believe what he was seeing. His confident plans were unraveling. Impossible, he muttered. They are not afraid. They are clever. The aliens tried to regroup, forming a tighter formation. But the humans had already set up multiple ambush points. Each alien maneuver was countered by unexpected attacks, forcing them to retreat, only to be met with another human strike. Lieutenant Rin, guiding a squad through the forest, whispered into her communicator, "Keep calm. They expect fear, confusion. Give them neither. Focus. We are stronger when they underestimate us." And indeed the aliens underestimated them. As the battle raged, a lone alien commander advanced toward the central ridge, trying to rally his troops. He raised his weapon and shouted commands in their harsh, clicking language, but the humans were already ahead of him. A well-placed volley of energy blasts forced him to retreat, his pride and confidence shattered. Meanwhile, in the skies above, the small human scout ship from the previous night appeared again. It weaved between alien vessels, firing precise shots that disabled communications and sensors. The aliens were thrown into further confusion, unable to coordinate their forces properly. The humans' advantage grew with each passing minute. Though they were fewer in number, their cunning and preparation allowed them to control the battlefield. Every human soldier fought with a determination that shocked the alien invaders. Every shot fired, every trap set, every daring maneuver demonstrated the unpredictable nature of humanity. Captain Mara Lin watched from her ridge, heart pounding with adrenaline. She knew this was just the beginning. "Hold your ground," she commanded. "Let them learn the cost of underestimating us." Even as the aliens realized the humans were not just surviving, they were winning. Commander Thalric, as pride made him stubborn, he would not order a retreat, not yet. He sent more squads down, larger and more heavily armed. But with each wave the humans adapted. Each attack was met with clever countermeasures, traps, and unexpected strikes. The battlefield became a maze where humans knew every hiding spot, every angle of attack, and every weakness in the alien approach. The alien forces, for the first time in their history, hesitated. Confusion replaced confidence. Their formations broke apart under constant assault, and in that hesitation the humans saw an opportunity, a chance to show that courage, cleverness, and unity could overcome raw strength. The sun rose higher over Solaris 7, illuminating the scene of chaos and courage. Alien war machines lay destroyed, and their soldiers retreated in small groups. The humans, though exhausted and battered, had survived the first clash. They had won the first battle in a way that the aliens could not understand. Captain Mara Lin lowered her weapon and looked across the battlefield. Her team cheered quietly, but she remained focused. This victory was small, temporary. The real challenge, the alien fleet itself, was still out there, waiting above, and somewhere in the shadow of the alien command ship, a new threat began to stir. A massive human battleship, unseen until now, moved into position, ready to tip the scales of war in a way the aliens would never predict. Mara smiled grimly. The aliens had believed they were invincible. They had thought the humans weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The alien commanders were shaken. The first wave had been slowed, but the humans were not defeated. Commander Thalric's eyes narrowed as he observed the battlefield from orbit. Hundreds of alien soldiers had already fallen, many more wounded, and yet the humans held their ground. "They are resilient," he growled, "but it is only a matter of time before they crumble under our full force." He did not know that the true threat had not yet revealed itself. Far above the chaos of the first clash, a shadow appeared against the backdrop of stars. At first, the aliens thought it was a trick of light, a sensor error. But then the shape became clearer, a massive human battleship, black and sleek, cutting through space with a speed and grace that defied expectation. Its hull absorbed light, making it look almost like a shadow come alive, and faint ripples of energy warped the air around it. distorting the alien sensors. Captain Mara Lin watched the incoming vessel on her screen, her heart racing. It was the HFY Titan, the most advanced battleship humanity had ever built, a machine designed to change the course of any war it entered. She knew the aliens had never faced anything like it. "Lieutenant Rin, you're seeing this too, right?" Mara asked, disbelief in her voice. "Absolutely," Rin replied, her eyes wide. "They won't know what hit them." The human battleship moved into position silently, faster than the alien fleet could react. Its weapons systems hummed softly, ready to unleash destruction. But Mara knew the greatest weapon was not its guns, it was the fear it would strike into the hearts of the aliens. Humans were about to show the galaxy that they were not a species to be underestimated. Below, the alien soldiers noticed the change immediately. The massive shadow moved across the sky, dwarfing their own ships. Some stopped in confusion, unsure whether to flee or fight. The commanders barked orders, but their voices trembled slightly. A human ship this size, moving this fast, had never been seen in their history. Commander Thalric's multiple eyes widened. "Deploy interceptors," he hissed. "Destroy it before it reaches the planet." A swarm of alien fighters launched from the flagship, streaking toward the human battleship. Lasers and plasma bolts cut through space, but the Titan moved with uncanny precision. It dodged effortlessly, slipping through the alien lines like a phantom. Its shields absorbed energy that would have shattered smaller ships, and its weapons targeted the alien fleet with unerring accuracy. On the ground, human soldiers watched the alien formation crumble as the Titan's firepower tore through enemy vehicles, weapon platforms, and armored walkers. The air trembled with explosions, and plumes of smoke rose from the alien forces. The humans could not believe their eyes. They had trained for this, but even they had never imagined the sheer scale of the Titan's power. Mara's communication console buzzed. "Captain, sensors confirm multiple alien command ships are offline. They are in chaos." She smiled grimly. "Good. That was the plan." The alien fleet regrouped frantically, trying to protect their damaged ships. Commander Thalric's pride was challenged as he realized his tactics were failing. They cannot be stopped," he whispered, voice trembling. "How can one ship do this to my fleet?" The humans on the ground were fearless. Inspired by the Titan, they launched a coordinated counterattack. Small squads advanced through the forest and plains, striking alien troops with precision while avoiding heavy fire. The aliens were caught between the Titan above and the human soldiers below, unable to predict the humans' next move. Lieutenant Rin guided her squad through the chaos. "Stick to the plan. Use the Titan as cover. Hit them hard, then vanish before they recover." The battlefield became a theater of human ingenuity. Mines detonated beneath alien walkers. Energy blasts took out enemy snipers, and squads moved like shadows through the trees. The Titan's arrival had shifted the balance completely. The aliens had thought themselves invincible, but now they were disoriented, frightened, and vulnerable. Even the alien commanders could not ignore the humans' audacity. They had faced thousands of battles, but never had a single species, especially one they considered weak, fought with such strategy, courage, and unity. The Titan fired again, unleashing a barrage that disarmed an entire alien squadron, forcing the survivors to retreat. The alien fleet was breaking apart, disorganized and panicked. Captain Mara Lin watched the scene from her command post. Her heart pounded, but she remained calm. "We've proven them wrong," she said quietly. "We are not weak, we are not predictable, we are humans." The aliens' fear grew as the Titan continued its assault. Commander Thalric realized that brute force alone would not win this battle. He would have to rethink everything or lose, not just the war, but the reputation of his species as invincible conquerors. For the humans of Solaris 7, hope had returned. They had faced the aliens before, yes, but the arrival of the Titan had changed everything. They were no longer defending, they were leading. And as the sun climbed higher over the planet, casting light on the chaos and courage below, one thought rang clear in every human mind: the aliens had made a grave mistake. They had underestimated humanity. They were about to discover that humans were not just survivors, they were a force that could shape the fate of the galaxy. The calm of Solaris 7 was gone. The storm had arrived, and at its center was a single human battleship, a shadow in space, a beacon of hope, and a warning to all who dared think humanity weak. The aliens had believed they were invincible. They had been wrong, and the war was only beginning. The alien fleet reeled from the arrival of the HFY Titan. Ships that had once seemed invincible now floated in disarray, their formations broken, their confidence shattered. Commander Thalric's pride burned hotter than his anger. He had underestimated humans. He had thought them weak, predictable, and inferior. And now, the humans were rewriting the rules of engagement. Below, the human soldiers pressed their advantage. Captain Mara Lin watched the battlefield unfold like a calculated chess game. Every move she had predicted was happening, but now they had the Titan above them, and that changed everything. "Listen up," Mara's voice rang through the comms. "Use their confusion. Push forward. Remember, they don't know us. They think they can predict us. Let's prove them wrong again." Small squads of humans emerged from the forests and hills, striking alien patrols with precise timing. Mines detonated under armored walkers, energy blasts cut down drones, and soldiers moved silently, unseen but deadly. The aliens had no idea how the humans kept appearing in places they shouldn't be. In the skies above, the Titan moved like a shadow of doom. Its cannons fired in rapid succession, targeting alien command units and heavily armed vehicles. Entire squads of aliens were immobilized before they could respond. The sheer power of the battleship combined with the humans' tactical ground assaults left the aliens disoriented. Commander Thalric slammed his claws on the control console. Focus fire on the Titan. Destroy it at all costs. Alien squadrons lunged toward the battleship, their energy beams streaking through the void. But the Titan anticipated every attack. It dodged, weaved, and struck back with unerring precision. Interceptors were sliced apart before they could reach the hull. Alien command ships suffered heavy damage, and all the while, the humans on the planet below continued their guerrilla assault. Perfectly synchronized with the battleship's fire, Lieutenant Rin guided a squad through a narrow canyon. Flank them from the left, she ordered. They're too focused on the Titan to see us coming. A squad of human soldiers appeared out of hiding, firing from the shadows. Alien soldiers were forced to retreat, confused by the humans' coordination and boldness. Every corner, every hill, and every building became a potential trap. The humans had turned the battlefield into a maze of surprises. The aliens had expected fear. They had expected chaos, but not strategy, unity, and courage. For the first time, Thalric felt doubt. They are stronger than we imagined, he whispered, his voice almost lost among the alarms ringing in the command center. Above the planet, the Titan unleashed a massive wave of energy from its main cannon, targeting the alien flagship. The blast tore through shields and armor alike, forcing the flagship to retreat. Thalric's eyes widened in shock. This one ship, controlled by a single human crew, had the power to challenge an entire fleet. On the ground, humans took advantage of the distraction. Mara squads moved swiftly, hitting key supply lines and communication arrays. Alien soldiers stumbled, disoriented and frustrated. Every plan they had carefully prepared fell apart under human ingenuity. This is it, Mara shouted into her comms. Push forward. Don't give them a chance to recover. The humans advanced with calculated precision. A group of young soldiers, barely out of training, managed to disable an alien heavy artillery station that had threatened their flank. Another team hijacked alien vehicles, turning them against their original owners. The aliens were trapped in a storm of human cleverness, skill, and unpredictability. Even as Thalric ordered reinforcements, it was too late. The humans had adapted faster than the aliens could respond. Every attack was met with a counterattack, every advance anticipated, every mistake punished. The tide of the battle had shifted. Lieutenant Rin, observing from a high ridge, whispered in awe, "They thought they were invincible, and we just proved them wrong." Captain Mara Lin allowed herself a brief smile. "We've turned the tide, yes, but stay sharp. This is only the beginning. They'll try again, and we must be ready." The battlefield fell into a tense rhythm. The humans, though outnumbered, had forced the aliens to retreat in scattered formations. The Titan hovered above a silent guardian, ready to strike at any alien who dared approach. Humans had learned how to use their environment, their brains, and their courage to overcome brute force. Commander Thalric's pride shattered further as he watched his fleet struggle to regroup. The humans had shown him something the aliens had never considered. That determination, intelligence, and the refusal to give up could defeat overwhelming odds. In the forests and plains of Sara 7, human soldiers tended to the wounded and regrouped, their spirits high despite exhaustion. They had survived the first waves and had forced the aliens to rethink their approach. The arrival of the Titan had changed the rules. The humans were no longer defending, they were shaping the battlefield. Mara Lin looked toward the horizon, toward the remaining alien forces. Her heart swelled with both pride and caution. The battle had shifted, but the war was far from over. Above, the Titan's hull glimmered faintly in the rising sun, a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. The aliens had underestimated them, and they would never make that mistake again. For the first time, the galaxy began to notice something terrifying to any who sought to conquer humanity. Humans were not weak. Humans were clever, resourceful, and fearless. And now, they had begun to prove it. The tide had turned. Humanity had shown its true strength. The aliens thought they were invincible. They were very, very wrong. The battlefield of Solaris 7 was littered with wreckage. Alien vehicles smoldered in the sun, twisted metal glinting faintly as the heat of explosions faded. Smoke and ash hung in the air like a silent warning. The humans had won this fight, but victory came at a heavy cost. Captain Mara Lin stood on a ridge overlooking the chaos. Her uniform was scorched, her hands bruised, and her lungs burned from smoke. Around her, human soldiers moved cautiously, tending to the wounded and gathering their remaining forces. Their eyes were weary, but their spirit remained unbroken. Lieutenant Rin approached, her face grim. "The alien fleet isn't finished. They've deployed their ultimate weapon. We've never seen anything like it." Mara's eyes narrowed. "What kind of weapon?" she asked. Rin gestured toward space. Far above the planet, a massive alien construct appeared, black, jagged, and humming with energy. It radiated a deadly power that made even the Titan hesitate. Mara's stomach tightened. This was not a simple battle, it was an extinction-level threat. They call it the Annihilator, Rin explained. One blast and the Titan is gone, and so is this planet. Mara took a deep breath, knowing there was no choice. Humans had already proven they could face overwhelming odds. Now they would have to gamble everything. Prepare the Titan for a full engagement, Mara commanded. We will not run, we will fight. The humans organized their forces quickly. Ground units moved into defensive positions, while the Titan prepared for a high-risk maneuver. Mara knew the alien weapon could destroy them all, but she also knew the aliens were relying on fear, not skill, to win. The first strike came without warning. A massive energy beam shot toward the Titan, scorching the atmosphere above Solaris 7. Human soldiers ducked and scrambled, debris falling around them. The Titan's shields flared, absorbing the energy, but the sheer power of the weapon caused the battleship to shudder violently. This is it, Mara shouted. All units, follow the plan. The humans moved with precision. Squads lured alien reinforcements into narrow passes, where mines and ambushes awaited. The Titan darted through space with unbelievable speed, dodging beams that could obliterate smaller ships in seconds. Each move was calculated, a balance of courage and desperation. But even as the humans advanced, casualties mounted. Young soldiers fell to alien fire. Armored walkers were destroyed, and the once pristine forests of Solaris 7 were scorched black. The humans were winning. Yes, but every victory came at a price. Lieutenant Rin guided her squad to a critical position, where a cluster of alien artillery threatened the Titan's flank. We take them out, or the Titan falls, she shouted. Soldiers charged, firing energy rifles and setting timed explosives. The explosions lit the battlefield in a brief, violent blaze. Several human soldiers were caught in the blast, their sacrifice allowing the Titan to strike. The Titan fired back, unleashing a concentrated volley that disabled the alien weapon temporarily. Commander Thaurik's expression twisted in disbelief. One ship, he realized, could challenge the very heart of his fleet, and now his ultimate weapon was at risk. On the ground, Mara watched as humans moved like ghosts through the battlefield, striking swiftly, vanishing into cover, and reappearing where the aliens least expected them. Every move was synchronized with the Titan's assault above. The aliens had anticipated raw force, but humans combined strategy, courage, and ingenuity in ways that no alien calculations could predict. The Annihilator fired again, this time closer to the planet. The Titan's shields barely held, and a shockwave threw Mara to the ground. Dust and debris filled the air. The humans were battered, exhausted and bleeding, but they had not broken. Captain Rin shouted. We can't hold much longer if that weapon fires again. Mara clenched her fists. We have no choice. We fight, or we die. Every human soldier on this planet knows what we're fighting for. Let them see what humanity can do. With a roar, the Titan surged forward, dodging the Annihilator's energy beam and striking at the alien command ships. Explosions rocked space as alien vessels were ripped apart. The humans below pressed the attack, hitting weak points in alien formations, sabotaging supply lines, and cutting communications. The battle reached its climax when a small human squad executed a daring maneuver. They infiltrated the Annihilator's support network and planted explosives. The device triggered just as the Titan drew the weapon's fire. The resulting explosion was massive, shaking both the ship and the battlefield below. Alien forces reeled from the blast, and the Annihilator was destroyed in a brilliant flash of light. Captain Mara Lin collapsed to her knees, exhausted but alive. Around her, the surviving human soldiers cheered quietly. They had won. The aliens had been forced to retreat, but the victory was bittersweet. Many brave humans had fallen. The forests and plains of Solaris 7 were scarred, and the threat of the alien fleet remained, looming above the planet, waiting for another chance to strike. Mara stood and looked toward the horizon. The cost of victory had been high, but the humans had proven something the aliens would never forget, even against impossible odds. Humans were clever, courageous, and unstoppable. Lieutenant Rin approached her, her face covered in soot and sweat. We've done it, Captain. We've survived. And we've shown them that humans are not to be underestimated. Mara nodded. Yes, Rin, but remember this, the war is not over. Today we won a battle, but tomorrow will bring new challenges. We fight for every inch of our future. And we never forget the price we paid to survive. Above them, the Titan hovered silently, a black shadow of hope and power. Its presence reminded the galaxy and the aliens that humans were not weak. They were not predictable. They were a force that could challenge even the most advanced and confident invaders. And as the sun set over the battered plains of Solaris 7, Mara Lin made a silent promise. Humans would never stop fighting, no matter the cost. They had paid a heavy price for this victory, but they had earned a truth that would echo across the stars. Humans were stronger, braver, and far more dangerous than any alien had ever imagined. The aliens had thought they were invincible. They had been wrong, and humanity had shown them why. The battlefield of Solaris 7 lay quiet now. Smoke still curled from shattered alien vehicles, and the ground was scarred with craters and burnt forests. The humans had won, but the victory was hard-earned. Every soldier, every ship, every strategy had been tested to the limit. Captain Mara Lin stood on a ridge overlooking the planet, her eyes scanning the horizon. The sun had risen higher, casting golden light over the battered landscape. Human forces moved steadily, regrouping and tending to the wounded. Their expressions were grim but determined. They had survived an impossible attack, faced a terrifying alien fleet, and emerged victorious. Lieutenant Rin approached, her voice low but filled with awe. "Captain, the aliens have retreated. For now, the planet is safe." Mara nodded, but her mind was already focused on what came next. "They'll be back," she said quietly. "They never forget humiliation, and this defeat will not sit well with them. But we've shown them something important. Humans are not to be underestimated." Above them, the hymn's Titan hovered silently, a black shadow against the blue sky. Its presence alone was enough to make any approaching alien fleet think twice. The battleship had proven the might of human engineering, strategy, and courage. It had turned the tide of battle and saved the planet. On the other side of the battlefield, scattered alien forces regrouped. Commander Thalric's face was twisted in disbelief and frustration. He had thought humanity weak, predictable, and inferior. He had underestimated them at every turn. "They are stronger than we imagined," he hissed. "We cannot treat them as we treat other species. They are dangerous, unpredictable. They fight with something beyond technology, something in their spirit." His lieutenants exchanged nervous glances. This was the first time in their history that an alien fleet had been forced to retreat by what they considered a primitive species. Fear and doubt had entered the hearts of even the most seasoned alien commanders. Back on Solaris 7, Mara Lin walked among her soldiers, quietly acknowledging their courage. Young soldiers who had faced certain death with determination. Engineers who had repaired critical defenses under fire. Pilots who had risked everything to strike at alien ships. Every human who had fought that day had proven their worth. Mara approached the edge of a cliff, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the remaining alien fleet was regrouping, planning their next attack. But Mara did not feel fear, she felt resolved. Humans were not helpless, and humanity's spirit had just been demonstrated on a scale the galaxy would not forget. "We've survived the impossible," she said softly, "and we've done it together. That is what makes us strong." Lieutenant Rin joined her, glancing at the Titan hovering above. "They'll think twice before underestimating us again." Mara nodded. "Not just think twice, they'll remember. The galaxy will remember. We've shown that humans are clever, courageous, and capable of facing any threat, no matter how large or deadly." The soldiers on the ground began to cheer quietly, not for victory alone, but for survival, for courage, for the fact that they had fought against an enemy who had thought them weak and had proven their worth. In the distance, the alien fleet's lights faded, disappearing into the blackness of space. Commander Thalric's pride had been shattered. His ships had been destroyed, his soldiers humiliated, and his confidence broken. He would return, yes, but he would never again see humanity as a weak species. The humans of Solaris 7 had changed something fundamental. They had shown that strength was not just measured in numbers, firepower, or technology. It was measured in courage, in intelligence, in the refusal to bow to fear or intimidation. Captain Mara Lin looked back at her soldiers, seeing the exhaustion and the relief in their eyes. "We fight not just for today," she said. "We fight for tomorrow, for our children, for every human who dares to dream of reaching the stars. And we fight because we are human, and no one should ever forget what that means." The Titan moved slowly above the planet, scanning for any remaining threats. Its guns were ready, its crew alert. But it also carried a message to the galaxy. Humanity was here, humanity was strong, and humanity would not be ignored. Across the stars, other human colonies would hear the story. Across the galaxy, aliens would hear the tale of a small species that defied every expectation. Humans had survived, humans had won, and humans had reminded the galaxy that they were not just another species, they were a force to be reckoned with. Mara Lin stood silently, feeling the weight of the day. The cost of victory had been high, but it had been worth it. Every fallen soldier, every destroyed vehicle, every daring maneuver had contributed to a truth that no alien, no enemy, could deny. Humans were not weak. Humans were brilliant, brave, and unpredictable. And as night fell over Solaris 7, casting long shadows across the plains and forests, Mara whispered into the quiet, "They will remember us, and we will be ready, whatever comes next." The humans of Solaris 7 had changed the galaxy that day. They had fought the impossible, survived against overwhelming odds, and proven that courage and intelligence could overcome even the greatest power. The aliens had thought they were invincible. They had been wrong, and humanity had shown the galaxy why.